Hello, hello, hello. This is your boy Brandon Correia, aka EF Hutton of Entertainment, and we are back with another movie review. And if you could tell by the shirt that I'm wearing, it is the Dragon Ball superhero movie review. And I'm amped for this one. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you think you would be interested in content like this, movie reviews, TV show reviews, trailer reaction, sports talk, music talk, all that good entertainment subject talk, subscribe to the Brandon Correia Network. This is the place to be for all of that good entertainment talk. Right here. So let's get into this Dragon Ball superhero movie review. And so I did see this in theater, and I did actually I was able to see it in IMAX. So it looked absolutely gorgeous. And let's get into how it looked from jump and kind of address that elephant in the room. So I know I've been hearing from a lot of people that, especially people that I guess maybe are more keen to noticing these things in animation and even CG. So me personally, when things have really, unless the CG is like really bad, but if the CG is like a little off, I'm able to like I'll notice it, but I'm able to, or it doesn't bother me enough that it'll take me away from the story. And I know other people, especially, people that like work in that industry, when they see bad CG, it really turns them off. So with regards to the animation, I know there have been a lot of people mentioning that they're not fans of them going from the 2D animation in Broly to the 3D animation. Again, like, I'm not someone that it bothers me. I do notice it, because right when I noticed it, as soon as the movie started, I looked to my friend that I was sitting right beside, and I was like, oh, they changed the animation. And I was like, I don't mind it. And again, it's their decision, whatever medium and choice they want to kind of tell their story in, whatever sandbox they want to tell their story in. And clearly they went with the 3-dimensional option to animate, which is obviously their choice. And also, that's one thing I just want to get out with regards to the animation. I know a lot of people have been kind of griping about that. To me, I did notice it, but it didn't bother me enough to take me out of the story, and I really did still enjoy this movie. Now, I also want to remind everyone that this is going to be a spoiler review, so I am going to get into a lot of details that happen in the movie. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, because that, if there was a negative, it'd probably be that. The other thing that I just want to quickly address is that I didn't like this movie more than Broly. And again, like, I don't think it's just because that it was focused more on Goku and Vegeta, as opposed to this movie somewhat more focusing on, and I know there may be Gohan fans that might kill me, but this more focuses on kind of B-list characters of the Z fighters, right? And people in the comments, like, be real. Like, Gohan at this point is a B-list character. You know what I mean? Is like a B tier with regards to power levels. And maybe obviously this upgrade that we see in the movie can bump him up, but we know that at this point he is a like a B level character. But I do nonetheless, I enjoyed that this movie focused on the B level characters, because seeing how like powerful Goku and Vegeta are, obviously their enemy is gonna have to be dumb powerful to kind of make the movie interesting. So kind of removing them out of the situation and just focusing on the people that were on Earth was a really good idea, and I did enjoy that. And that was a big kind of plot line of the movie. So again, circling back, I did like Broly more than this, but again, I still really enjoy this movie, and I highly recommend that you go see this movie. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, this will bring you right back. There's a lot of nostalgic moments and kind of Easter eggs that they lay in the movie that bring you back to like OG Dragon Ball Z, like, and it really just brought me back. Like, even so, like, again, going into spoilers, the plot is basically surrounded around the Red Ribbon Army, and Red's grandson Magenta is basically like accumulating wealth. He basically made a pharmaceutical company, as a front for the Red Ribbon Army, and he's basically been acquiring resources and assets to kind of get his revenge on Goku. And it basically just showed this flashback with obviously newer and cleaner animation of Goku fighting the Red Ribbon Army. And then it went into obviously how Dr. Gero from the Red Ribbon Army continued into Dragon Ball Z, turned himself into an android. He made Cell. And obviously we know the history, I mean, for the Dragon Ball fans and that know the Dragon Ball Z like story, they know all this story, and they kind of basically just rehash it to bring it to present day. And there is they even show that, so it's basically the next generation of people from the Red Ribbon Army. So Magenta, Red's like grandson, and then there is Dr. Gero's grandson, who is supposed to be smarter than Dr. Gero. And he comes out of prison, and they team up. He basically recruits him because the leader of the Red Ribbon Army wants to basically make a new android, like the ultimate android. So that basically is like the main plot line. And the reason why it's focused on Gohan and Piccolo is because Goku and Vegeta are obviously off-world training with Whis, but we actually see Broly with them because obviously Broly's mad strong and like can like hold his own with like those people, right? So they're off-world, all the heavy hitters are gone. So that's the biggest reason why it's focused on them. And not only that, it's also focused mainly on not only Gohan and Piccolo being the heroes, superheroes, right? But it's really focused on their relationship. And it really just shows how like Piccolo was actually like the real kind of father figure, and just father figure in like all of their lives, like Pan's life, Videl's life. Like Videl goes to Piccolo to be like, can you help me out? Like he's like the grandfather in a sense, as opposed to like Goku or Chi-Chi. So it's like, it really just highlights how important Piccolo has been in like their lives and in like just the lives of even Goku, and how influential he's just been and important he's been as like a friend, while Goku has been able to go off and train and do all these things to protect Earth, obviously. But it just really just showed how pivotal Piccolo has been and how just like of a good sport he really has been. You know what I mean? And like Piccolo is honestly one of my favorite characters. So this is maybe why a big reason why I absolutely love this movie, was because this was for, and the Gohan fans are gonna absolutely love this movie because Gohan gets his moments and his moment. And like me as a Piccolo fan, like with a new transformation, they were calling it Orange Piccolo. You know what I mean? He looked absolutely monstrous. You know what I mean? When he first came on screen, like me and my boys and even the other people in the theater were amped. Like honestly, seeing this in theater was like a really, really good experience. And like just that moment, like Piccolo getting his new transformation as he was kind of falling down, he had the symbol popped up on his back and he transformed. Later on in the movie, they reference back, and there was just a lot of references and Easter eggs back to like classic Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And Krillin kind of comes and he's like, Piccolo, grow big like you did when you fought Goku in the tournament. And then it shows a flashback, and you see him as Orange Piccolo get big, a flashback and a callback to that moment. And even as like the movie tapered off with the big fight scene, there was like a callback to not only Gohan doing Special Beam Cannon, but Piccolo being the one to wrap up Mega Cell, and that was like, or Max Cell. That was the big bad of the movie. So there was like these two androids that were actually like misunderstood, and we actually come to like know that they're actually like really good like androids. Like they have like good intentions. So they actually end up teaming up with the Z fighters, because like the leader of the Red Ribbon Army ends up just like kind of being like, I'm done with this shit, and he ends up releasing Max Cell. And Max Cell is just like this massive, like an upgrade to Cell, and he's like a giant kaiju size enemy. And it's basically like the rest of them versus this thing. And Piccolo gets his moment where he goes big, like I was saying, and he faces off with him, but he ends up wrapping him up so that Gohan could get off like the kill shot with the Special Beam Cannon, throwing it back and having a callback to the first arc of Dragon Ball Z, when Raditz ran up on Earth and Goku sacrificed himself. But even though Piccolo didn't sacrifice himself in this one, spoiler alert, but when it in that moment when Goku wrapped himself up and Piccolo did the special beam cannon through Raditz and Goku. So it was just a callback to that moment in Dragon Ball Z. So there was just a lot of those kind of sprinkled throughout the movie. And honestly, like this movie actually took a bit to kind of build up to the end in the fight scene. There was a lot of like explanation and kind of like background given, which at first I was like, I wasn't sure how I'd feel with like all the explanation and even just the vibe at the beginning, because it didn't even start by focusing on like our heroes. But then it started to ramp up, and when it started to focus more on Piccolo and it started to show more of him, I got more involved. Even him just starting with like, because when it first got to Piccolo, spoiler alert, I mean, I'm gonna keep saying it throughout this, but it showed him basically training Pan and being like, wow, like you might actually have more like hidden potential than your dad, and it kind of foreshadowing what the end of the movie would be, which would be Gohan finding that hidden potential again and getting his new transformation again, calling it back to what all the people in the universe were saying about Gohan at the time, that he had all this hidden potential. So just throwing it back to that, there was just a lot of like things in this movie that just threw it back to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and just like OG Dragon Ball fans are just going to have like a really, really, really good time just hearing and seeing all of those things just kind of brought up. You know what I mean? Like it'll really just bring you back. I don't know. The movie, I really enjoyed it. And I know there may be people that say the movie maybe sucked. And again, like I liked Broly more. This movie wasn't the greatest, but I just had a really good time, especially like I said, as a Piccolo fan, him getting his moment and him finally getting an upgrade after all of these years. I can't, what was his last upgrade? When he was on Namek or something like that? Like I can't even remember like his last big upgrade. Right. So it's good to see that now he has like a big upgrade. So whether they bring Super back or whatever the new Dragon Ball project is going to be, he now has like a new form that he could kind of tap into to kind of help out the rest of them. So that was amazing to see. And yeah, like I said, the movie takes a bit to kind of get going, but once it gets going, it gets going. And I enjoyed the fight scenes with the, with the 3D animation. They were able to kind of like do like those spinning around the character kind of shots. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And a couple things I actually want to mention before they end up beating Max Cell with the final like special meme cannon from Gohan, that Gohan like just learns that he tells Piccolo that he was kind of just trying to learn it on his off time. We see like this big team up. We actually see Bulma roll up on the spot with Goten and Trunks, but like an older version of Goten and Trunks that are probably like 13-ish. So that was like dope to see, because even like from Piccolo's perspective, it was like, I know I haven't seen you guys in a while, but you guys have grown up a lot. So it's like he was kind of speaking for us, and it was just like seeing them grown was just like crazy. And yeah, there was just a lot of good moments. We see Android 18 and Krillin roll up to help out and try and stop Max Cell. And yeah, there's just a lot of tough, like just like sick moments from this movie that just like really just made me feel like a kid back in my room watching Dragon Ball, just making me want to turn into a Super Saiyan myself. Like just amping me. Right. So, and they end up stopping Max Cell and right, they go about their business, and it kind of ends with Pan showing everyone that she could fly. Right, just nodding back to that hidden potential. And even when they were training at the beginning, she was having a hard time flying. So it's circling back to that and showing that she is going to have a lot of hidden potential. And she was like 3 years old and she was just like doing all this stuff already. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. It was a good time. And watching it in IMAX in the theater with the crowd, having them react to certain sick parts was like an added bonus. So I had a really good time, and there is a post-credit scene. So if you haven't watched this movie yet and you're watching this, stick around for the post-credit scene. There is a nice post-credit scene. I'm just gonna get into it. Honestly, like it was basically just so during the movie, there's a point where the biggest reason why Goku and Vegeta are off-world are their training, but Bulma tries to contact them for help, and there's something covering like his staff, like the signal, so that they can't see while they're sparring, while Goku and Vegeta are sparring. So they're basically sparring while all of this is going on, right? So that's the excuse as to why they never came back. So it just goes back, it circles back to that where they're just sparring and they're mad tired and they're literally just like Naruto and Sasuke, like at the end when they were just kind of like when they were like barely punching each other. So basically kind of like when I saw that shot in Dragon Ball Super, all I thought was that Naruto and Sasuke moment at the end of Shippuden. And so they're going back and forth and it's literally just light as punches because they're mad tired. And you see Vegeta kind of hit Goku in his chest and Goku falls over. And Vegeta's like, yes. And like you even hear Goku be like, he got me. And Vegeta was like, yes. Like I finally beat Kakarot. And I finally beat Kakarot. And it was such a nice moment because again, Vegeta is my favorite character. Piccolo is my second favorite character. Like those are my top two characters. So each of them getting their moments, as much as it wasn't focused on Vegeta, each of them getting their moments in this movie just makes me so happy. Because seeing Vegeta get that win at the end, like, and him just being like, yes, finally, and him just really taking it in and enjoying and being happy with that victory made me happy. And then there was actually people in the theater too that was like, yes, that he finally beat Goku, right? And I was like, and I tried to make a joke. I was like, does that mean he's stronger than Goku? Obviously, I was just playing because, you know, that Ultra Instinct transformation is ridiculous. But they were showing briefly during the movie that Vegeta was kind of figuring out, he was kind of explaining things about Jiren and why Jiren is as strong as he is. And just explaining that there's mental things that even Whis kind of explained to him before in Dragon Ball Super, that you need to let go and kind of mentally be a little bit looser while you're fighting. And he really started to watch Jiren and take that in. So you see him in this moment before they start sparring, just meditating and really trying to get to that point. And Kakarot's kind of Goku's kind of roasting him and be like, how you gonna get better like just sitting there on the rock? And they end up sparring and they bring it back to the end where Vegeta beats Goku basically. He keels over after too. And Whis is like, it looks like all that mental training is kind of paying off Vegeta. Showing that maybe for a brief moment, Vegeta is stronger than Goku, because there have been moments where they've kind of traded back and forth. So maybe as of right now, Vegeta potentially is stronger than Goku. I don't think so, but you know what I mean? I could be begging and I'm a beg and say that he is for this point. So that's probably it that I'm going to go into for my Dragon Ball superhero review. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, go see it in theaters. It was a great experience seeing it with a live crowd and seeing it with other people. Yeah, honestly, I don't really got much else to say. I really enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed the movie. So if you like this video, hit the like button. If you think you would be interested in content like this, subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I got movie reviews, TV show reviews with with House of the Dragon episodes coming, Andor episodes coming, She-Hulk episodes already here, Lord of the Rings episodes coming. You know what I mean? We're going to have bare reviews from the Brandon Correia Network coming. And if you want all that sports talk, music talk, all that good entertainment talk, subscribe to the Brandon Correia Network. You will not regret it. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.